We're on the record in 231-500-139. Counsel over the state and defense are present. Defendant is present. Some things to discuss. A couple of motions filed last night. We also need to discuss Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, State can respond right now.
I'm gonna need some details that I'm not sure you can provide.
Your Honor, we can do that. I don't think that the state disagrees on the facts
Okay.
laid out in.
That's fine. Okay. Brittany, can you make a note of that in the minutes? All right. Okay. That's what I had on my initial to-do list. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else from the state?
No.
Everybody, you see I had that all lined up, ready to go. Fantastic intro. I just love that so much. And then we have this guy. Can we see the intro one more time? Because it would have been great if I'd have been on time when people were actually here waiting and saw the great new intro. Ah, I'm ruined. Ruined. It will be warmer soon. We'll stop doing that. I'm sorry. Terrible to waste anybody's time. Could we see the intro once more?
We're on the record in 231-500-139. Counsel over the state and defense are present. Defendant is present. Some things to discuss. A couple of motions filed last night. We also need to discuss Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, State can respond right now.
I'm gonna need some details that I'm not sure you can provide.
Your Honor, we can do that. I don't think that the state disagrees on the facts
Okay.
laid out in.
That's fine. Okay. Brittany, can you make a note of that in the minutes? All right. Okay. That's what I had on my initial to-do list. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else from the state?
No.
You see, I made that nice intro and everything that, made the judge sound like he was trying to understand what Mr. Bloodworth was or what he was all about. And, it's true to my humor. It sort of sums up what we do. It's unique. It's unique to us. And it's ruined by my shameless tardiness. I am so sorry. We're going to be looking at private investigators today, folks. Clearly, the most popular witness ever to be on the stand was Todd Gabler, the private investigator that the Richins family hired to look into the death of their son, Eric, or brother, son and brother, colleague and friend, Eric Richins, in the recent Kouri Richins trial. I've never seen a witness come away with such praise as Saint Todd Gabler in the Kouri Richins case. And it got me to thinking about cases where private investigators are involved and come in and testify. Now, there was a big one in the Karen Reed case, K.R. King Rat. Kouri Richins, Karen Reed. There's one in that. We're not going to be doing that because I hate the case and I never want to talk about it again. Karen Reed. No. But there's also two private investigators that Donna Adelson used in her own defense case. You'll remember Eddie Varnes here and Chief Max, Little Miss Sweet Thing. What's her name? Her name was Tehronna Khan. And Tehronna Khan's also... First, we're going to hear a couple of sentences from Eddie and just see if there's something special about the approach towards being a private investigator that... what's his name? Todd. Where did I write down his name? Todd Gabler. Is there something special about Todd Gabler, or is it all private investigators that have that magic touch? We're going to hear what Eddie Vance has to say right now.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, my name is Eddie Varnes. Excuse me, E-D-D-I-E. Last name V as in Victor, A-R-N-E-S.
How are you employed, sir?
I'm a private investigator.
And how long have you been a private investigator?
Is that what you are, Eddie Vance, Mr. Vance? Why do you look like you've been sleeping in your car? Is that part of the job?
Good afternoon, sir. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, my name is Eddie Varnes. Excuse me, E-D-D-I-E. Last name V as in Victor, A-R-N-E-S.
And how are you employed, sir?
I'm a private investigator.
And how long?
Okay, just to prevent any of our good audience members who might be on the edge from taking their own life, we don't want that to happen. So we're going to go to the good times rolling with Mr. Gabler. Let's set the tone. This is how it's done, apparently. Why? What is so popular about him? Let's try and understand that here.
Have you been a private investigator?
Wrong one. This one. See, straight away, he walks into the room like a king. Look at him. Neck brace in hand. This isn't some Chandler Halderson neck brace, fake neck brace. People, this is the real deal. You can tell by the medical company logo, which we will see once he puts that on. He's got a waistcoat. He's wearing a black tie, black suit. Mr. Bloodworth is driving the hearse every day to the courtroom. Part-time undertaker, and now we have another person who looks as though they're attending a funeral, but it's not a funeral for a living person. It's a funeral for the lies that will finally be put to rest after his golden testimony.
Mr. Gabler, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Would you mind standing in front of Brittany?
If you'll please raise your right hand. Do you
So straight away, we notice something different. Good afternoon, Judge. He looks tired to be here. He's not impressed with the court. He's not impressed with the authority of the court. He will act accordingly within the appropriate levels of courtroom etiquette and decorum, but he will never, not once, fall trap to being eaten alive by those classic lawyer tricks. Sometimes a good lawyer will know exactly how to use the sort of mild social pressure, testifying courtroom, being told what to do by a judge is a novel experience to most. Obviously, lead detectives get up there a lot, and financial analysts get up there a lot. The kind of people that testify frequently in trials. And I suppose private investigators will be among that group. But also, and we do see the judge at one point instruct him and then say, of course, you know what to do because you're a professional who is in here all the time. I mean, and he goes, yeah, I do know what to do, but I will look at you tiredly while you go through the motions of putting it on the record that I have been told for the millionth time not to speak to anyone outside the courtroom. Okay? He's got this kind of like, yeah, I get it, the motions, we got to go through the motions. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. He's everybody's favorite private detective ever. And he's here right now, live on Metrix.
Solemnly swear the testimony.
Speaking of which, if anybody has a... there was apparently another investigator who testified in the... is it the Monica Selmantelli? Is that the right word? Because I'd never seen that trial. I do hear and see people, others, talking about it from time to time. So if anyone is super familiar with that trial and does know who we're talking about when we say the private investigator that testified within that trial, within that case, let us know in the comments, and maybe we can check that out too. It'll be a blind watch for me because I've never seen anything to do with that situation. But yeah, do let us know in the comments if you know a good private investigator that you've seen testify in another trial that you would like for us to include in this comparison.
You're about to give in the matter before the court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, subject to the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat.
Sir, take your time and please watch your step.
Thank you. All right, how's this?
Sound great.
Great.
Mr. Bloodworth, please proceed.
Sir, what is your name?
My name is Todd Gabler, Gabler.
You appear to be recovering from something.
Yes.
Would you mind just at a high level explaining?
On January 13th, I underwent a 5-level PCLF. That's a posterior cervical laminectomy and fusion. My neck has been fused together with titanium rods.
Sir, are you taking...
My neck has been fused together with titanium rods, which is the same material that they use on the space shuttle. So I am one of the most advanced machines built by human beings.
taking any medication today that would affect your testimony?
I purposely did not take any pain medication today for the purpose of the clarity of my mind and my testimony to you today.
No issue there. In fact, I think to make the handicap fair, like a handicap in sport, that we should all take a sedative right now. No, he should take a sedative to bring him down to our level. He's too alert. And why? Because he's made of the same material that put astronauts into space.
I took Tylenol this morning.
What, sir, is your occupation?
I'm a licensed private investigator in the state of Utah.
How long have you been a private investigator?
34 years.
What, sir, is your investigative experience that is relevant to this case?
Well, over the course of 34 years, I have worked on approximately 100 homicide cases. I have been active in the trials of perhaps a dozen or maybe more homicide cases over the course of my career. I have extensive experience in a specialty in digital forensics, which allows me to examine digital devices, phones, computers, other things of a digital nature to uncover information that may have been deleted, destroyed, or altered. I can't really think of anything else that is sort of a 30,000-foot view of what would be important to the jurors in this case regarding my experience.
30,000-foot view. Where is that? It's, I think Everest is 29,000 feet. Right? So he's not describing the view from the ionosphere, the edge of the Earth's, what do you call it? You know, where that Red Bull guy jumped from. How high was that? How high Red Bull jump man? Red Bull jump man was, oh wow, 127,000 feet. Wow, incredible. 38,969.4 meters. So that is a total of, what would that be in miles? He reached a top speed of 843.6 miles per hour on his way down. Wow. Why would anybody want to do that?
Well, sir, of those 100...
Michelle, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Michelle. Look, you see, what it is it's a temperature thing. You know, we're going to be punctual real soon, consistently. I'm very sorry.
So, homicide cases, how many have you worked for the defense?
All of them. I have always sat on that side of the room, standing in between the state and a defendant.
And you mentioned, sir, that you testified about 12 times. Have you ever testified for the
So he's aligning himself with, I mean, in some ways he seems anti-state, anti-law enforcement. He certainly has a few issues. I don't know if we want to call them issues. A few perspectives that he shares with the nature of the police and why he is better. And, I don't have a problem believing him at all, to be honest. I mean, his argument for that comes down to lack of red tape, which, we know is such a burden to many investigations. The red tape, filing that report in the right way, led to a miscarriage of justice. That doesn't happen with our friend and colleague, Todd Gabler.
The state?
Never.
Did there come a time shortly after Eric Richins' death when the estate of Eric Richins hired you as an investigator?
Yes.
Do you recall about when?
I was first contacted by Crystal Bowman Carter, an attorney. I believe that would have been early to mid-March of 2022. She asked that I contact her client, Kouri Richins Benson, regarding the death of her brother, Eric. She gave me a broad sketch of what she knew about what had occurred regarding Eric's death. And it was a very short conversation, very professional, very to the point. And then it was a few more weeks before I first spoke with Katie and Clint. That's Kouri Richins Benson and Clint Benson at their home in Summit County. That was April the 1st, 2022.
And was that engagement to investigate the death of Eric Richins?
Well, That was part of the investigation. I was under the impression that I had been hired at the instance of the filing of a lawsuit by the defendant in this case against.
Good afternoon, Christina. Good afternoon, Brian Faircloth, Acapella, MRS925FL. Good to see you. I always love seeing 5FL. Mrs. 925FL. What does it mean? It's code. Yeah, Skittish Kitty. Nice. Hey, Christina, you want to see our fantastic intro? I just love it. It would have been so great if I was on time. I think we should do these all the time from now on. Check it out.
We're on the record in 231-500-139. Counsel over the state and defense are present. Defendant is present. Some things to discuss. A couple of motions filed last night. We also need to discuss Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, state can respond right now.
I'm going to need some details that I'm not sure you can provide.
Your Honor, we can do that. I don't think that the state disagrees on the facts
Okay.
laid out in.
That's fine. Okay. Brittany, can you make a note of that in the minutes? All right. Okay. That's what I had on my initial to-do list. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else from the state?
No.
I just love this so much.
Katie for the trust money and the control over the trust that Eric Richins had created.
And to be clear, the lawsuit involved Kouri Richins as trustee.
Correct.
And when you're interacting with Kouri Richins, it is in her capacity as trustee
Correct.
or personal representative of Eric Richins' estate.
Correct.
What, if anything, sir, did you inform at that meeting with Clint and Katie? What, if anything, did you inform them of how you conduct investigations?
Right. So I talked with him about some of the various facets of an investigation, how it would proceed. I've already talked to you about the qualifications that I have in digital forensics, and so I talked a little bit about that, about the need to get a hold of phones and computers and other things that would have evidence of either a wrongful death or some mismanagement of finances that was being alleged in the case. For all my clients, it's basically the same speech. You're hiring me to find the truth. The truth is sometimes very difficult for us to accept. I've often said that the truth is half what you most fear that it is, and half what you most desire it to be. And you cannot separate those two from the truth. I told them that they would have to accept the truth about what happened to their brother, no matter what that truth was. If he took his own life, they would have to accept that. If someone was responsible for his death, they would also have to respect my investigation and accept that truth. They agreed.
Sir, from that point forward, did you conduct an independent investigation?
I did.
Sir, who paid for that investigation?
I was paid by Clint Benson, but my understanding is that the legal sort of line of authority for which I was engaged was for the estate and Kouri Richins Benson as the personal representative.
You see, that's a standard sales pitch, isn't it? Where have I seen that? I think I've seen that in a movie where... No. I tell you where it is. It's used by Kathleen Zellner in the Making a Murderer 2 series, where she says, if you hire me, you'd have to be an idiot to hire me if you were actually guilty, because I'm going to get to the truth. I don't have that red tape. I mean, that's another kind of... I mean, she's not really posing as a private investigator per se. She's in there as an exoneration specialist defense lawyer, right? But, I mean, she does have all those... She certainly runs it as a private investigation with all those experts, right? God, it'd be great if we could pull up some clips from that, but I bet your ass that's all Netflix, evil Netflix, copyright Netflix. Can't use that. Yeah, but it's a classic sales pitch, isn't it? It's telling someone, I'm going to get to the truth, and you're going to have to be all right with that, even if it's something you don't want. Right? Real good sales pitch. And it's a good sales pitch because it's not necessarily promising to deliver what the client wants. Right? What the client wants is the truth. But they also want that to be in line, in support of what they believe the theory to be, right? They want confirmation based on evidence, based on an expert investigator's evidence that their belief is founded. But he doesn't promise that, because if he promised that, it would be, that would be not necessarily trustworthy. The client might think, hey, this guy sounds really good, but he's promising exactly what we want. He's saying, yeah, I think she did it too. And yeah, we'll be able to show that. If you hire me, we can prove that. That's not a sales pitch that inspires trust, but one that says, listen, what I'm going to get is the truth, and you have to be prepared for that, even if it's something that you don't want to hear. But it will be the truth. You see what I mean? That's just so much better, isn't it? And that's the kind of thing that this guy would know from his 45 years on the job, or however long it is.
Did you bill them at your customary rate?
I did. I continued to bill them at the rate that was established at the time of my engagement, even though my hourly rate increased during the course of my investigation. They enjoyed a...
Yeah, hourly rates have a tendency to do that, don't they? Especially when you're an investigator dealing with desperate people and that don't care what they spend. Yeah, hourly rates have a tendency just to, right in the middle, just, hey, look, it's gone up. It was at this level this morning, and now it's way up. So you want to write me a check, or
lower rate, essentially because of the time that they engaged me.
Did anyone else pay you for your investigation?
No.
Did anyone from the Summit County Sheriff's Office direct your investigation in any fashion?
No.
Did you conduct your investigation entirely independent of...
or Mrs. S wants to know, what are we discussing? What's new with the incarcerated Adelsons? What's new with the incarcerated Adelsons? Well, not much. Donna Adelson is reading a book in Prison Book Club, The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walsh. If you haven't already read that, we have it right here on the desk and can tell you the blurb. It's a little dark in here, but let me see. The blurb says, Jeanette Walls, not Walsh. Jeanette Walls, while Jeanette Walls was living on Park Avenue covering the Academy Awards and attending black tie parties at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, her parents were squatting in an abandoned building on the Lower East Side. Rex Walls, her father, was an ingenious adventurer and a hopeless alcoholic. His mother was an artist who abhorred domestic routine and the chores of motherhood. Why shouldn't I cook a meal that will be gone? Why should I cook a meal that will be gone in an hour when I can do a painting that will last forever? Funny, sad, quirky, and loving, The Glass Castle is an almost incredible story of a nomadic, impoverished childhood. So that's what Donna Adelson's reading and discussing in Prison Book Club at the moment. What else is new? Well, not that much. I guess Charlie's waiting for news of his appeal. Sit tight. No, but the reason that Adelsons are in the context today is that I just want to compare the private investigators. We've got Eddie Vance, our man over here with the big smile. And we've got, what is her name? Tehronna? What is her name? Tyrannosaurus. Her name is Terrona Khan. Terrona Khan. So we'll be checking those out, little bits and pieces, as we go through today's testimony of everybody's favorite private investigator. Where is he? There we go. Look at him there. Isn't he great?
At the sheriff's office.
Yes.
Did you provide information?
Procedure. It would be a crime for me to, under the Utah Private Investigators Regulation Act, to have any file materials go to anyone else but my client without my client's permission. So the standard course would be that I would discuss my findings with my client, and we would discuss handing that over to the sheriff's office. In every case, information that we thought important to the investigation was handed over, and there was no event, no occasion upon which we decided not to turn over something to the sheriff's office. Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. Mrs. S says, my opinion about Wendy not being arrested is that the Markells may have requested they not touch her as not to further destroy their grandsons. Anyone agree? No, that's ridiculous. Decisions don't get made like that. And I can tell you one thing. Those children, if I were Ruth Markell, I would think that I wouldn't want Wendy Adelson anywhere near those children. For their safety. I would not believe that Wendy loved those children or had any interest in protecting their well-being. As long as they remain usable tools for her, they have value to her. When they cease to be tools, they cease to have value, and their safety would not be, that's what I would think if, no. And apart from that, you don't have people going to, who aren't even citizens. A couple of Canadians come down in their 80s and tell the lead prosecutor, the chief prosecutor of, whatever, hey, that murder, we want to put in a request that you not arrest Wendy Adelson because we don't want to further destroy the grandsons. I mean, just think about what you're saying and think, about how many problems there would be if the justice system bent for those whims. Not to mention that they put Sigfredo Garcia and Catherine McBanower both on trial at the same time. I'm sure some people might have requested that, that they're the two parents of two children whose lives certainly have been destroyed. The justice system, it's not the responsibility of the justice system to safeguard the interests of children based on the actions of their parents, no. It's Mrs. S. I'd love for you to tell me that your opinion is different now that I've helped you.
That was the rule.
Sir, was that flow of information one way from you to the sheriff's office?
Oh, yes, very much so. I initially tried to get the 911 audio call that the defendant in this case had made, and the sheriff's office denied my request under the Grandma law. I appealed to the county administrator for Summit County. She also denied my request. It's common for police agencies to be one-way streets.
So it was not uncommon for your request for information to be denied?
Correct. My investigation proceeded regardless of whether they were providing me any information or not.
Did you have contact with the Summit County Attorney's Office before Kouri Richins' arrest?
No.
Did anyone from the Summit County Attorney's Office direct your investigation in any fashion?
Never.
Did you conduct your investigation independent of the County Attorney's Office?
Yes.
On June the 15th, 2023, after Kouri Richins' arrest, did you receive a subpoena from the County Attorney's Office for your investigative file and any forensic data that you had collected?
I did.
Did you provide that material to the County Attorney's Office in response to that subpoena?
I did. I produced 2 hard drives. One contained what I call the logical and physical investigation file. That would be interviews, audio recordings, photographs, videos. That was a fairly large file. And then the second hard drive that I provided a few weeks later was all the computer forensics, the digital forensics, the examinations of the C&E computer, a clone of Eric's iPhone, and some other digital data.
Did you begin your investigation with a hypothesis?
Yes. A number of hypotheses appeared clear to me in this case. My investigations are hypothesis testing exercises. That's just a fancy way of talking about something that we all do every day. We look at a situation and we evaluate what that is. Is there evidence that supports our hypothesis that that is what it is? Well, if we're looking at a red light, our hypothesis may be that traffic should be stopped, and we look around for data to verify that hypothesis, that indeed there are cars that are stopped at that red light. In this case, it was clear to me that 2 hypotheses needed to be looked at. Number 1, Eric took his own life as a matter of accidental overdose. Number 2, Kouri Richins surreptitiously had Eric ingest a massive amount of fentanyl and killed him. So, as the case proceeds, and I see new data, I see phone data, I see computer data, I interview people, I look at documents or things or other devices. All of that data gets fed into one of those two hypotheses, both of those hypotheses. Does this confirm it? Does it deny it? Does this evidence make it more likely that this hypothesis is true or less likely that this hypothesis is true? Does this evidence preclude the possibility of one of the hypotheses being true? So that hypothesis testing continues throughout the investigation, and sometimes a permutation of the hypothesis comes along. We have to change the hypothesis just a little bit to allow some of the data to fit that hypothesis. Not large permutations in this case, pretty straightforward. Two competing hypotheses.
Sir, you just mentioned that in testing your hypotheses, you conducted some interviews.
Yes.
What, sir, is your process for conducting interviews?
So my process is to always have a recording device active for any of my interviews whenever possible. This eliminates any possibility for me to be.
That must be why he's got the neck brace. There's a microphone hidden in that neck brace.
Biased or
Hey, Nikki Love, how you doing? Good to see you. Flint, represent.
unclear in my reporting of what was said during that interview. It also protects me in a liability scenario if someone were to allege that I had done something improper or had offered them material for their cooperation, anything like that. That would all be protection for me by recording that contact. So that is the primary objective of documenting an interview. Later on, when I report it, when I summarize that interview and in writing, because it's hard to get a lawyer to listen to an entire interview. There's some difficulty that they have with that. So they need a summary sheet about what the interview was about. And I type those up based upon the recording that I made, and I typed up those later, or I may have an agent type those for me from the recording, and then I'll review the report and sign off on it, and then it'll go into the file. So that would be my process with respect to an interview, all interviews.
So, just to come back to Mrs. S. Mrs. S says, I'm sure you are correct, but why the heck hasn't Wendy and Harvey been arrested? Justice for Dan. Okay, I don't think Harvey's going to be arrested at all. I can say why in a moment. Wendy. Well, what are the leading theories? The leading theories are that she is being protected from someone high up, either through payment, favor, blackmail, or I guess it'd be one of those three, right? So the leading theories are protection from some high up, some judge that we cannot see. Imagine whoever is 4 levels above Judge Everett. Who is that? We don't know. We don't see them, do they? So it could be, what was it, payments, blackmail, or sweetheart deal. That's one theory of speculation. The second is that the state is waiting to be sure that they can get a conviction. I don't see that being dependent on evidence gathering. They've had 12 years. We're still working on it, you know. Which they might be. I mean, they would be. But I think if it is a tactical delay by the state, it would be more of the fact that they're trying to predict or understand exactly what Wendy's defense will be. But I don't know. I mean, neither of those theories really hit home enough for me to throw my weight behind any of them. And what else? Any notion that it's about the boys turning 18, I'm not even going to write that down because that's just not anything. Is there anything else? Let's go to the comments. Well, if anyone has any other suggestions for leading theories other than some form of protection, payment, blackmail, sweetheart deal, or state not being ready, essentially. And I don't want to hear any other things about, well, maybe Georgia is just really busy. Yeah. She's always busy. So arrests don't wait for things like that. Oh, look, Kouri Richins is doing her "I can't believe he just said that" face.
Approximately how many interviews did you conduct in this investigation?
It depends upon your definition of an interview, I guess, but 45, probably, somewhere in that department. 40, I guess I could say 40 to 50 to be safe.
And in those interviews, did you identify yourself?
Oh, yes, always. There was no occasion in this case where I did not give people my true identity and who I represented.
And did you record those interviews?
Yes. I think there were a couple of occasions where I could not get a recorder fast enough, but other than those couple of occasions, they were all recorded.
Who, for example, are some of the people that you interviewed?
I interviewed friends and associates of Eric's. I interviewed friends and associates of Kouri's. I interviewed a number of people involved in Eric's business and personal life. I interviewed family members, both the Richins family, and I attempted to interview family members of Kouri's family, but was not successful in gaining their cooperation for an interview. So that was generally who I interviewed.
And was the purpose to test your hypotheses?
Well, yes. I'm interested in getting those interviews done from as many people as I possibly can from both sides of the camp so that I can get the largest possible data set to feed into that hypothesis testing scenario.
Did you pass your interview recordings and written reports along to the sheriff's office?
I did.
Sir, as part of your hypothesis testing, did you analyze Kouri and Eric Richins' cell phone billing records?
I did.
How did you obtain the records?
Eric and Kouri's cell phones were being paid by C&E Stonemasonry. They were Verizon accounts, and I obtained the the billing records from C&E, from Ali Wright, with the authorization of Cody Wright. There were 2 productions of telephone records from C&E. The first one was for the period of January.
Man, it's bad enough to, those kinds of relationships that you see on TV where it's a husband and wife, and the husband runs a successful business, brings home a load of money, they supports a good life, and the wife doesn't do anything but shop. Every time he gets home, there's another $5,000 sofa, upholstered in Italian silk. But Kouri Richins is one step worse than that, isn't she? Because not only does she spend all the money, she spends it on pretending to run a business to give herself the appearance of affluence and success. When really it's just like, what do you mean you spent $25,000 on gravel?
January 2022 through May of 2022. The second production was May of 2022 through February of 2023.
In that January of 2022 onward time period, what types of information were you looking for in the billing records?
So, because the billing records don't really offer content, that is to say, it's not you don't get to see text messages or what the text message was, you do get to see the numbers that were connected to Kouri and Eric's phones. So we first of all decode that number to a name. We try and figure out who that is, and we fill in every instance where that number occurs with that name. And then we begin to count the total number of contacts with that phone number. So, for example, we would see the highest number of contacts for Kouri's phone to her mother. Not an unusual circumstance that someone would be close to their mother, and that would be the highest number of contacts on your phone. So that was the procedure that I was initially interested in, was the weight. We call that the weight. So what is the weight of that person on the other end of the line? Kouri's mom was a high weight because there was a high number of contacts. And so I'm interested in how many times you contact that person. Occasionally, I'm interested in what time of day you typically contact that person, and the type of contact, whether that contact is by text message only.
I mean, he gives us some really good, we should be writing all this down because this is fantastic, almost like step-by-step instructions about how to approach somebody's call list to notice patterns that are of interest to the investigation, right? Let's just hear that again. Time of day, and that's just brilliant. We got to do another video just on the tactics that this guy lists out because they are all there.
Contacts. And so I'm interested in how many times you contact that person. Occasionally, I'm interested in what time of day you typically contact that person, and the type of contact, whether that contact is by text message only or by voice and text. That changes the character of the person on the other end of the line.
Sir, did you pass your analysis of contact weight along to the sheriff's office?
I did.
Was there any particular contact weight that caught your attention?
Yes.
What contact did that involve?
It involved the contact with Carmen Lauber. I noted immediately that there were many hundreds of text messages between the two from the initial data set. That was January of 22 through May of 22. There was a very heavy weight. I don't recall if she was the second or third weight, but it was very close. The only two people that I recall that were ahead of Carmen on that weight was Kouri's mom and Eric. So that was the one that stood out to me. There were others, that I investigated, but that one was of particular interest to me.
And to be clear, that involved the weight of contacts between Kouri Richins and Carmen Love.
That is correct.
Did that contact weight cause you to investigate Carmen Lauber?
It did.
What did you determine?
Well, it was immediately apparent to me that Carmen had a very extensive criminal record involving drug use and potentially drug sales. I noted that Carmen had a dirty urinalysis, meaning that she tested positive for prohibited drugs in her drug court around the time of Eric's death. I was very concerned about the high number of contacts and the criminal history for Carmen, and I alerted the sheriff's office about that.
As part of your investigation, did you search the Richins home?
Yes.
When did you first search it?
I believe it was May the 8th of 2023. That was the day that it was released by the sheriff's office. It was an estate asset. Kouri's lawyer, two of her lawyers from Ray Quinney Nebaker, had showed up as soon as the sheriff's office had departed. And I had arranged for security to stand watch at the house after the sheriff's office released that. So I engaged in a conversation with counsel who wanted access to the home, and it was eventually agreed that one of the lawyers would accompany me on an inventory of the property, all of the assets in the house, all of the items in the house, and the detached garage. And so that lawyer stayed for a couple of hours and then left. I never saw them during my search of the property again. I continued to search the property for 4 or 5 days, and then that was the end of my contact with the house initially.
And what was your process for searching and documenting your search of the Richins home?
Right. So GoPro video, chest mounted typically, sometimes mounted on the head, and a backup audio recorder just in case something happens to the camera. At least I've got an audio recording of what I'm talking about, where I'm at, what I'm looking at. So that is the procedure for documenting those. There's also photographs that are taken. There are also, with respect to documents, I scanned with a scanner many thousands of pages of documents in this case from the detached garage office. So that was the general procedure for being at the house. There was at least one occasion that I can think of where I was called over to the house and I didn't have my camera with me, so my video camera. So I used the audio recorder and my camera on my cell phone to document things. I think that was in 2024. So with that being the only exception, that would be my process.
And was Clint Benson present at the home whenever you searched the home? And I guess by present, I mean in the home, not necessarily leaning over your shoulder.
Not necessarily leaning over your neck brace.
That is not an easy question to answer because my focus was not on Clint Benson. My focus is on the things in front of me. I was never in that house without Clinton Benson's authorization. I was never in that house without Clint Benson being on his way. So if he wasn't there when I got there, he was on his way there, and so he would join up later.
Now, ultimately, this guy's conclusions are in support of the state's opinion that Kouri Richins is responsible for the death of Eric Richins. So he, the exchange is a little bit more touchy with the cross-examination from defense counsel, but he's not there. Sorry, he's not there in obvious alignment with either party, is he, at all? He's just his own guy, and I think that's the reason he's almost definitely become so popular in true crime folklore, right? That private investigator with the neck brace who didn't take shit from anybody.
It's
That's how
possible
he'll
during
go
the
down in
May
history.
searches that Clint had left the house while I was documenting things in the house. I think that was particularly true of the detached garage office, where I was spending maybe 8 hours in a day just scanning documents, just feeding documents into a scanning device. So I think Clint was likely not there during that.
He was generally there?
He was generally there, I would say so, yes.
And you were recording with your GoPro the whole time?
Yes, with the exception I noted, yes.
Did you ever remove...
With a GoPro. We need to get a GoPro for the channel. Imagine what we could do with that. Maybe one day. Support the channel on paypal.me/True Crime Metrix.
Other than your recording equipment, cameras, audio, GoPro, all of that,
Yeah.
did you ever bring anything into the home?
No, I did not.
Did you ever remove anything from the home?
Yes, I did.
What did you remove from the home?
So during my May searches of the house, and in particular in the detached garage office, I encountered a number of documents that had Ray Quinian Nebeker letterhead on the top, and they were either communications between Kouri and her lawyers, or they were billing records from her lawyers. That would be improper for me to read or possess. It would be unethical. I placed these documents into a manila envelope, and as I encountered more of them, I would simply grab a hold of them and put them into the manila envelope. And at the end of my May search, I took that envelope to the office of Ray Quinian Nebeker and handed it over. There were other things that I removed from the house. Sort of the general category of the boys' things. The boys had requested a few things. I believe Child Protective Services or someone at DCFS had requested that we get documents that pertain to the boys. And I believe there were some other documents that I removed that were personal documents that were now the property of Katie Richins Benson. These documents involved vital records, birth records for Eric, other vital documents that we would generally safekeep for ourselves, and I turned those over to my client. I'm trying to think if anything else was removed. Any item that I considered to be evidence was removed by the sheriff's office, not me.
So, if you came upon something that you considered to be evidence, how did you handle it with the sheriff's office?
I don't think there was a standard approach. I only recall a few occasions. I think the first couple of occasions I may have contacted the sheriff's office directly, either Lieutenant Hemingway or I can't recall any others. And then on one occasion I contacted Travis, the investigator with your office, and then subsequently spoke to the sheriff's office about removing an item.
And is it your understanding that the sheriff's office would then get a warrant and come to the house to seize whatever item you thought might have evidentiary value?
Yes, I was there for one of those occasions.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any further questions.
Thank you.
Are we going to take a break or do you want me to go forward?
You tell me, would you like a break?
Could we have
It's up
just
to
a
the
few
jury.
minutes?
No
Whatever they
problem. You
want.
know what? Let's let you stretch legs. We'll take a restroom break. The witness asks for a break. We provide a break.
Oh, it's up to the jury, completely up to the jury, whatever they want, whatever they want. If they want a little cream cake for their break, I have a pack of 10 in my purse that I save for jury-related emergencies, because I love the jury. Defense counsel. Oh.
All right, the jury. Mr. Gabler, watch your step there.
Hold on, Judge.
There you go.
That white stripe, that white shirt with dark stripes. Isn't that akin to the kind of private investigators from the 1940s, like, I don't know, Dick Tracy? The kind of men that would use phrases like, "It's tough out there on the streets in the dark city."
Mr. Gabler, may I ask a break? All right. Would you like the opportunity to use the restroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sure you know this, but
Yes.
you cannot speak to anyone during
Yes.
the break. All right. Is 10 minutes enough?
Judge, I know everything you're going to tell me, okay? I am bored with the fact that you have to act like I am not fully informed and prepared.
Time, sir?
5 is plenty.
All right, we'll say 10.
Is 10 minutes enough for a bathroom break? 5 is plenty. He just never, ever lets someone else make a point for him, right? He could have just said, any other person would have just said, yes, 10 minutes is fine. And somewhere within that is the suggestion that 10 minutes is required, right? The simple answering of yes to that question would almost be, what is the word? Accepting a fact, accepting a proposed fact. I need 10 minutes. But he doesn't let that happen. He's an expert. He's like a master chess player. 3D chess champion. Oh. 10 moves ahead. Is 10 minutes enough for a bathroom break? 5 is plenty. It's brilliant. Much loved.
We'll be off the record until 3:40. Thank you.
goddamn mute button. So sorry. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is have a look at Eddie Varnes before we move on to cross-examination of Todd Gabler. Eddie Varnes is the private investigator that was hired by Donna Adelson as part of her defense case in her own murder trial that took place in August 2025, only 7 months ago. In fact, it's quite a while already, isn't it? 7 months. And when you're 76 years old, that's quite a chunk. So before we move on to cross, let's go and have a look at Mr. Vance, who comes a long way short of inspiring the same level as confidence that Mr. Gabler, right? Todd Gabler, our friend and colleague in the justice community, private investigator Todd Gabler. Let's have a look what Mr. Varnes has to say.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Yes, my name is Eddie Varnes, excuse me, E-D-D-I-E, last name V as in Victor.
Okay, for starters, I don't think that using the name Eddie as a private investigator is a good idea at all. Ed or Edward, but never Eddie, because Eddie is one step up from Bobo, right? I mean, it's just not a name that you give to someone who you're going into a long spiel about how Eddie is a terrible name for a private investigator. It does not inspire confidence. It's one step up from Bobo. And, he could have gone with Ed, he could have gone with Edward, but he chose Eddie. And it's just not the kind of name that you give to someone that you're going to entrust with serious business that's going to affect the rest of your life, is it? What are we going to do about this? Oh, I know, I'll call Eddie up and get him on this right away. What other sort of childlike, playful name abbreviations are there that would be inappropriate to give to a private investigator that you would entrust with very important work? Eddie is one of them, but what else? What else? What else could it be? Chip. Chip might work. Chip might be okay. I mean, it's difficult. Nobody is called Chip where I'm from at all. That just wouldn't happen. So that's difficult for me to even imagine in the real world. Bubba, no. Okay, let's bring it back, Christina. I don't think these are in line with Eddie. These are more like nicknames. Bubba, Butchie, that's not an abbreviation. Chuck, even that. Okay, Charles, right? But that's... Eddie is more direct, isn't it? You know, it's... Richie would fit in. Bobby. Louis. Bobby, Louis. Ralph. Ralph's fine. Ralph Lauren. Billy, Timmy. Hey, Veronica Schneider, where have you been? Where have you been?
A-R-N-E-S.
How are you employed, sir?
I'm a private investigator.
How long have you been a private investigator?
I've been a private investigator on my own for 10 years. Prior to that, Total 27 years.
27 years as a private investigator?
Yes, 27 years as an investigator. Yes.
Pen ran out of ink. What type of casework do you handle?
Mostly criminal at this point in time. I also do insurance, civil stuff and insurance, but I've been exclusively pretty much criminal for about the last 10 years.
How do you get your work?
I market. I have my own company. I try to market and get work, and that's how you do it. That's all I can say.
Were you retained as a private investigator by Mrs. Adelson's original attorneys?
Yes, sir.
And when was that?
May of 2024.
Now, I want to specifically direct you to when you were asked to speak with an individual by the name of Patricia Bird.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when that was?
That was August 30th, 2024.
Okay. And did you go to the jail to meet with her?
Yes, sir. I received a call from prior defense counsel saying there may be a person that has information on the case. He gave me the name, so at that point I had traveled to Leon County Jail, got there about 11 o'clock, and then was able to meet with Miss Bird.
Okay. Now, there are different kinds of visits that you can do at the jail. How did you meet with her?
I met with her in an attorney booth.
Okay, so you don't need to schedule an appointment for that?
No, sir.
Okay, just normal business hours?
Yes, sir.
And tell us, without telling us what was said, how did the conversation go?
Basically, I met her and I introduced myself and explained to her who I was. And I said, you understand you might have some information on the case? And she said, yes.
And she might have some information on Donna Adelson's case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did she have information about?
She told me she had some information about what Katie McBanawa had stated to her back in 2021 when they were incarcerated together.
Now, did she tell you that Donna Adelson offered her any sort of compensation to testify in her case?
No, sir.
Specifically, did Miss Bird tell you that Donna Adelson offered to buy her a piece of land?
No, sir.
Did Miss Bird tell you that Donna Adelson offered to buy her a trailer for that piece of land?
No, sir.
Did Miss Bird tell you Miss Adelson offered to buy her a vehicle?
No, sir.
What about veneers for her teeth?
No, sir.
So she didn't tell you any of those things that she is saying Donna Adelson offered?
Absolutely not.
Did she tell you that Donna Adelson confessed to her?
Absolutely not.
Did you record your interview with Miss Bird?
Can you imagine Donna Adelson picking up Harvey Adelson's dentistry skills in the jail? Oh, my husband, world-renowned. You know the Sultan of Brunei? Yeah, when he's in town, he comes to get his crowns polished by my husband. Magic fingers, trust me.
I was instructed by prior defense counsel to not record the interview. That wasn't unusual.
You were instructed by prior defense counsel to not record the interview. Why would that be? Nothing shady about that. You see, this is why you should have taken a leaf out of Todd Gabler's book and put a microphone in a neck brace and then smuggle it into the jail.
Because we spoke to I spoke to several prior inmates throughout those 2 or 3 months. So to answer your question, no, sir, I did not record the interview.
Now, did Ms. Bird talk extensively about Ms. McBanawa?
Yes, she did.
Did she say that Donna Adelson told her to say those things?
No, absolutely not.
Did Ms. Bird know who Donna Adelson was prior to meeting Ms. Adelson?
No, she did not.
Had she heard the name Donna Adelson?
No, she didn't. She actually told me when she met her
When
in the jail, like she never heard of Donna's name at that. She met her like maybe 4 weeks earlier inside the jail at that point in time.
Now, when Ms. Bird is telling you about Ms. McBanawa, did you caution her in any way about her cooperating on Donna's behalf?
Yes, sir, I did. She told me what she told me, and then I said, Ms. Bird, you know, the state's going to, you know, if you're a potential witness in this case, you're going to be put on the stand. They're going to say you were given something to say this. Our client told you to say this. And she said, absolutely not. They can say that all they want. That's the truth.
Did Ms. Bird tell you that Donna told her to say anything other than what was true?
No.
Was it your understanding that she was waiting for a plea offer in her own case?
She made mention to me that I asked her about her charges. I wanted to get to know her a little bit. So she told me why she was in. And we discussed that a little bit. And then she said, I'm expecting an offer soon.
That was what she said, expecting an offer soon?
I'm expecting an offer from the state soon.
And that was just over a year ago?
Yes, sir. That was August 30th, 2024.
Just a moment, Your Honor. Nothing further at this time?
Should we grab one? So, Mr. Varnes, you said that you interviewed Ms. Bird because Donna Adelson's prior defense counsel said that this may be a person who has information.
That's correct.
But that was prior to July 25 when the state listed Patricia Bird as a possible witness for the state, right?
That was August 30th, 2024.
Okay. So in August of 24, the defense, for some reason, would have thought this person may have information and gone to you to interview them.
Correct.
Okay. And defense counsel asked you about this, but you said you did not record your interview with her?
No.
Okay. You could have taken a recorder, like a pocket recorder, into the jail and recorded it, right?
I
If
could
they'd
have,
asked
but I
you
was
to.
instructed not to record the statement.
Yes, sir. Now, after hearing this statement about how McBanawa basically lied on the Adelsons, killed Dan Markell just to extort them for their money, is that right?
That's not exactly right, but you're in the ballpark, but that's not exactly what she told me.
Okay, can you tell me again exactly what she told you?
Yeah, I'm going to refer back to my report a little bit, if that's okay. I spoke Patricia, and she said that they were sitting at a table talking about the case, and then Bird quoted the following that McBanawa had told her, and that was, after we had him killed, we tried to get the money because we knew her boyfriend and family had a lot of money. We knew that they had money because the family offered the man $1 million apiece to move to South Florida. So at that time, Patricia, and Katie, said, why not kill him and get the money ourselves? So then Bird replied with, "Girl, that's crazy as hell. That's extortion." And Katie replied to her and said, "My kid's got to be raised and go to college as well."
So I have a question about that. So according to what you say Bird told you,
Yes,
Bird used the word extortion. That's the word Patricia Bird used,
yes, ma'am. She
that Meg
said,
Banway used.
that's correct.
Okay. Now, when you heard this story, that would be very helpful, right, to Donna Adelson's case. Did you call her prior defense counsel and say, listen to what this lady's telling me? Can I have permission to record this? Can I do a recorded interview with her? This is going to be very important. You didn't do that, did you?
I did call them immediately when I left the jail, and I sent them an email with my summary within an hour.
Okay. Did you ask to go then do a recorded interview with her so you would have evidence of that?
No, I didn't ask.
Okay. And did they ask you to?
They didn't ask me. No, I told them what they told me, and if they have any additional instructions for me, I'll gladly go do what they asked me to do.
All right. Now, if Miss Bird, after all that, do you know why the defense never listed Patricia Bird as a witness?
I don't know the specific reason. I'm not the attorneys on the case. That's
Do you
their
know
job.
why these attorneys never listed Patricia Bird as a witness?
State allow the witness to answer the question before cutting off, please.
Ms. Dugan, please wait for him to finish the answer.
Just repeat, please.
Do you know why either defense counsel never listed Patricia Bird as a witness?
I have no idea.
You were hired by prior defense counsel, you said?
That's correct.
Okay, and you did charge for your services.
I did charge for my services, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
That's all, thank you.
For your examination.
Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Varnes,
Yes, sir.
the state just asked you, according to what you say Bird said to you, isn't that, in fact, what Miss Bird said to you, not just what you claim?
No, that's exactly what she said to me.
Okay. And you've been working in this industry for how many years?
No, I would object to improper bolstering, Judge.
Sustained.
Judge, the state attacked his credibility.
We're not doing speeding objections. I ruled. Ask your next question.
Would it surprise you, sir, to learn that contrary to what the state implied,
Objection to relevance as to what he would be surprised by.
Overruled. Please let him finish his question first before you object.
thank you, Your Honor. Would it surprise you to learn that prior defense counsel, in fact, listed Patricia Bird on the witness list that they submitted prior to this case being set for trial September of 2024?
Would that surprise me? No.
Okay. And so, contrary to what Ms. Dugan indicated on cross-examination, it was your understanding that Ms. Bird was listed as a defense witness.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Just a moment, Your Honor.
You know how time has gone on, and some of us, myself included, actually kind of miss Daniel Rashbaum. There's a nostalgia there to the first time that we really got down to who he was. It was a whole process. I mean, it's been a real journey with Daniel Rashbaum, I've found. Because it was such a setback for me personally. I don't know if setback is the right word, but I was disappointed because I had envisaged Charlie Adelson, the first Adelson that we've seen on trial in the case of Dan Markel's murder. You know, I was expecting to see something really good and qualified and like, oh my God, look at the defense they've put on. They've got this lawyer that is just so good that Georgia Kaplan's going to have her work cut out for her. That didn't happen at all, did it? With Daniel Rashbaum, and certainly not with Josh Zellman. But not with Daniel Rashbaum. And then I hated him, and I still do. But I also, I love that I hate him. And that's never happened for me with Josh Zellman one little bit. It's just annoying.
Nothing further, Your Honor?
Will this witness be recalled by either party?
He'll be retained, but he's free to go about his business.
Mr. Varnes, do not discuss your testimony with any other person. You may step down.
Sir, thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Vance. Let's go back to someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. Oh, God.
All right, Mr. Gabler, you're still under oath, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ms.
Please, the
Nestor,
court.
please proceed.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Ms. Nestor.
I don't believe you and I have ever met, but I am Kathy Nestor, and I'm one of Ms. Richins' attorneys, so it's nice to meet you. So I want to just kind of start with a basic.
Zellman isn't interesting enough to hate. Yeah, I think that's what it says on the bottom of his business card. Zellman and Associates. Not interesting enough for you to hate.
Observation, but just to make it crystal clear, you are not law enforcement, correct?
Correct.
And you've never been law enforcement in your whole life, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You see, look at his face here. He is buttoned down, baby. I mean, he is ready for business, isn't he? He's just like, okay, defense counsel, I am primed for you to come and do your defense counsel tricks. And I can tell you right now that not one of them is going to work. I am going to embarrass you in front of the jury.
And the rules and ethics and expected practices of private investigators are significantly different, would you agree with me, than those that apply to licensed law enforcement?
Wow, that's a nice way to sum up that your trade is charlatanism, maybe? Con man, you prey on the desperate people that need answers, don't you? That's your line of work. Would you agree with me that the ethics and expected practices and qualifications are somewhat different than that of law enforcement? Than genuine, real-life hero law enforcement, which you are not?
I don't know that I would agree with that in every circumstance. A private investigator, when he is hired by a lawyer, is bound to all the ethics that that lawyer is bound to.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, which are none, lawyer, you know. What ethics does a defense counsel that's representing a murderer in full knowledge, what ethics do they have? I'm bound by the same ethics that you are, counsel. Way to turn it back on her, huh?
But, for example, you don't have to go get a warrant to go look at a house.
well, right, that's the state action distinction.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not a state actor.
Right.
I've never been a state actor.
Right.
I will never be a state actor.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to go search a house for 6 straight days and look at thousands of documents, you don't need to get a judge to give you permission to do that, right?
No, I got the permission of Kouri's lawyers who represented her to do that.
And you also got the permission of Clint Benson, right?
Yes.
And in fact, Clint gave you a key,
Yes.
and you had that key to use at your discretion.
Yes.
And there were times when you would go to the house and Clint was not there and you would let yourself in, right?
I believe that my testimony covered that, and that was that Clint was aware that I was there and he was either on his way or there with me.
But you agree with me, and you have videos, I believe, that back this up, that there were occasions where you would go to the house, Clint was not there, you'd use your key, and you'd go in.
Yes.
And there were occasions where you would be spending hours and hours and hours in the office, because I've
Yes.
watched all the videos,
Yes.
and you would be there alone without Clint anywhere around you.
Yeah, I don't need supervision, counselor.
Perfect.
I was conducting an investigation, independent investigation, and he had given me the key, trusted me with that, and I was authorized to enter the premises at will.
Right. So if he got on the stand and said you were never doing anything outside his eye, that would be false.
Well, from his perspective, he had knowledge of my presence there, as I have testified every time I was there.
Fair.
So from his perspective, it may look different.
But you agree with me, sir, that there's hours and hours and hours of video of you alone in that office going through things.
I think.
Is that so? Yeah, something like that, Christina. We need speech bubbles for Kouri. With these expressions, right? Oh my God.
I've already testified to that.
Okay. Now, you were not permitted access to the house until after Kouri had been arrested, right?
No, that's not correct.
You got in the house before she was arrested?
No, that is not correct.
Okay, help me out.
The house was released by the Summit County Sheriffs on the 8th.
Okay.
That's what gave us, that was the trigger, not Kouri's arrest. It was the end of their search that triggered our access to the house.
Okay.
The police were executing a warrant.
Do you know when Kouri was arrested, sir?
I don't recall the exact date or
Would
time.
Would it surprise you to be the day before May 7th?
Okay.
It's a bit like resting bitch face, isn't it? It's I didn't see even Jody. I think it's a great thing to maybe do a montage of, right? Defendants' faces as they look at witnesses with incredulity. Is that what it is? The incredulous expressions of defendants. Because there's some real classics, right? Look out for that on our channel page. Coming soon.
All right. So,
Objection, Your Honor, foundation on that.
Was it
Would you
May?
re-ask the question, Ms.
May?
It
Nestor?
was May 8th.
sorry, was it May? Would it surprise you if it was the same day, May 8th, that you got access to the house?
It would not surprise me since I do not recall.
Okay. And during the time after Eric's death, but before Kouri's arrest on May 8th, did you ever go inside the house for that entire year?
I'm sorry, could you ask that again?
Sure. During the time between when Eric Richins died on March the 4th,
Yep.
in the early morning hours
Yep.
of 2022,
Yep.
and May 8th of 2023, were you ever inside the house at any point in between those times?
No, never.
Perfect. So the first time you ever got into that house, over a year had expired since Eric had passed.
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned the police had executed a search that day before they released it to you, right?
Yes.
And do you know how many times prior to that the police had searched that house?
No.
Okay. And then you've also testified here, I think very honestly, that on repeated occasions you notified the police, hey, there's something you missed. You might want to go back to the house and find it again.
I mean, I'm not going to adopt your characterization, but it is true that I called them back to that house when I discovered something that I thought was evidentiary.
How many times?
Oh, I don't know, 4, 5.
So on at least 4 to 5 occasions,
Yeah.
you found things the police had missed.
Yeah, oh, that's been my experience throughout my career.
And you
The
told
police
them-
never
sorry.
get everything, ever.
Right. Well, I'm not
It's
going to
true
argue.
in every case I've ever handled.
Sure, not going to argue with you on that one.
Yeah, it's true.
So they come back because you call them and say, hey, I found something, come back, here's where it is.
Yep.
And they know you're doing that. They know that you have full access to this house, right?
I don't know what they know. I
They-
can't answer that.
Well, you're calling them every time you find something.
Well, what opinion they formed in their mind is not within my knowledge.
Okay, fair. True, you called them every time you found something.
You see, he loves those, doesn't he? What opinion they may or may have not formed is not within my knowledge, Counselor. We don't take no shit. We don't take no shit. We don't take no shit. We don't take no shit.
That I thought was of evidentiary value in their investigation.
And did any of them ever say, you know what, we're good, stop calling us?
No, I don't recall that at all.
So then the converse of that is they encourage you to keep doing that.
Well, no. That is not the converse of your hypothetical,
Okay.
and I do not agree with your assessment.
Okay? Did you feel like you were helping them?
I was following the instructions of my client to turn over anything I thought was relevant to the criminal investigation. This is not my case. My case is in the civil court. Anything that we thought was of value to the criminal case, we turned it over.
And the police were happy with that.
I don't know if they were happy or sad or distraught. I have no idea as to their emotional condition.
They sure never told you to stop.
The police never directed me to do anything, and if they had told me to stop, I would have ignored them.
Okay. So you could go in without a warrant, find...
What is it that defense counsel is trying to show there? The police sure never told you to stop. You were encouraged because they didn't tell you to stop. They practically asked you to continue your investigation by not telling you to stop. I mean, unless there's a lawful reason for them to do so, they shouldn't be telling him to stop anything. Right? Hey, don't wear that neck brace. That's in order. But what is defense counsel trying to show? That the police used evidence found by a private investigator who is not bound by the same level of ethics and does not have the same limitations in terms of what the police, a law enforcement authority, is allowed to invade into a private citizen. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, so that they can make it look like that the evidence that the police have was gotten by unethical means and therefore should not be considered to have the same weight as the evidence that they gathered while operating under those stringent rules and procedures, right? That's the point of what they're trying to do. Okay, we understand.
something, call them, tell them to get a warrant, and they'd come get it.
I think that's an oversimplification and a vilification. I had permission to enter those premises. I had every right to be there. I didn't need a warrant. I'm not a state actor. I have the permission of the property owner, so I don't agree with your characterization.
When the cops would show up, did you point out what you were showing them? Were you usually there?
No, I was there on one occasion when the police showed up. They executed warrants when I was not there.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only remember one occasion where I found an audio recorder in a dresser drawer that they then recovered by warrant.
And you waited around and pointed it out to them?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I never touched the device. So, yeah, I would have. I don't know if I pointed it out. I think what I did was, on that date, when I saw the recorder and recognized it for what it was, which is not easy, I just immediately withdrew. I left my audio recorder going until the police arrived. I don't recall pointing it out. I recall describing to them where it was.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. So then, there was one occasion where you found something that was a letter purportedly written by Eric called the My Princess letter. Do you remember that?
I remember a Baby Cakes letter. I don't know if I remember
That's it.
My Princess. Is that the same one?
That's the one.
Yes.
You remember finding that letter?
August the 9th of 2024 is when I took a photograph of that, but I found it on May the 10th of 2023 during my search of the residence.
So, when you found this letter, at some point, did you move the location that you found it from?
I don't recall ever moving the location. On the video, you will see me find the letter on May the 10th of 2023 when I'm in the bedroom, and it is located in the bottom drawer of Eric's side of the bed, the bottom drawer of the vanity. And I looked at it. I didn't think it was relevant. I put it back down on the drawer. On August the 9th of 2024, when I photographed it on the bed, I do not recall if that letter was on the bed or whether I went and retrieved it from the vanity. But there is video. The August 9th, 2024 was the episode that I described that I was called over and I didn't have a video recorder. So I was recording by audio, and this is the same date that I recovered the audio recorder. So the letter was also photographed, and then later I think it was taken by the police. I don't know. But
Let me stop you for just a minute.
okay.
You left the letter on the master bed, correct? For the police to find.
I left the letter on the master bed. I didn't know that the police were going to come for it.
Okay. And they ultimately did, correct?
Well, ultimately, I don't know because I wasn't present, so that's beyond my knowledge.
Isn't it true that you moved other things around in that house often?
No, that is not true.
Did you move a computer that you located in the office?
There was some smoked turkey in the refrigerator. You didn't touch that, did you?
Don't recall moving a computer in the office, but I did.
Did you have a warrant for that smoked turkey? You don't have to operate under ethics, do you? You can just eat anything you find in the house.
Not move it out of the office.
Did you put it in your Tesla?
Did you put it in your $65,000 vehicle? Did you put it in your Tesla? In your brand new Tesla that you bought with the proceeds that you got from this investigation because you're an unethical hick and you just do it for the money and you prey on the needs of desperate people in search of answers? Is that what happened here? What about that smoked turkey in the fridge? You have a warrant for that smoked turkey? You don't operate under the same ethical guidelines, do you, detective? Investigator, I'm sorry. No, you can just eat any piece of evidence that you see fit. Right?
If you are talking about the C&E computer, I did not find it in the office. That is not how that worked.
Okay, so you found it where, sir?
I found it in possession of my client who had taken it, who had been given it or taken it from Becky Lloyd. So my understanding of the pathway of the C&E computer that I examined was that it was picked up by Becky, who lives nearby and works for C&E. The C&E computer, she then went to get business files off of it. I talked with her about this. I filed an extensive report regarding my interview about the computer. And then before I could get up to Francis to get that computer, I lived at the time 250 miles south of Francis in Washington County, so it takes me a while to get up to Francis. Before I could get up to get that computer, I believed that my
I'm sure you bill for the time, don't worry.
client had already secured it, and so I went and got it from her.
Yeah, I got another 5-hour drive to Francis. What does that cost? $2.5 grand? Yeah, it's $500 an hour, which is $100 for every 10 miles that I have to drive.
So Becky got the computer from the house after Eric died,
Yep.
right?
Correct.
Then Becky gave it to Katie,
Correct.
and Katie gave it to you.
Correct.
And in all of that, no law enforcement ever put hands on it.
Correct.
He's got this great sense of impatience, hasn't he?
And at some point, you took it back up to the office to go through it?
No.
Right. Well, there's video of you going through that computer in the office.
Well, I suppose that I may not have remembered that I went through a computer in that office, but the C&E computer was processed at a location in Midway, and I recall that there was a what I want to say is an obvious missing hard drive location. I could see the outlines of a hard drive that had been in place in that computer. I became suspicious that the hard drive had been removed prior to me getting to that computer. I later sourced that missing hard drive to an upgrade that was performed by a computer company at the request of C&E. The hard drive contents were transferred to a solid state drive, and I did locate that inside the computer.
Okay. So can we play for the witness only clip TG10?
We're going to play without sound, right?
Yes, sir. No sounds necessary.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of wait till we get to the computer part. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Can we bring that one down? That's the next one. We want to go to the one right before that, which is 173. It's GXO 10073. Do you have that one? Okay.
Excuse me, I'm having difficulty keeping my head up.
Oh, no worries. Whatever you need, sir, to be comfortable. Take a minute. Yep, I'll go back to that. It's going to take her a minute to upload that, Your Honor. So we'll get...
Whatever I need to be comfortable. Well, I did have my eye on one of those chocolate eclairs that you've got sticking out of your purse.
to that. You don't recall putting electronics documents in your Tesla and driving away from the house?
Oh, I remember that.
You don't recall putting the documents in your $65,000 vehicle, sir, that you bought with the proceeds from this investigation because you were an unethical hick and you prey on the needy, the needs of desperate people? Sir?
Yes. But that was not the C&E computer.
Okay, what computer was that?
I don't recall. I'd
So-
have to see the video.
So you
That's
were-
why I make them.
You removed.
You don't really care about justice at all, do you, sir? For you, it's all about your fee, am I right? You'll give whatever testimony to the highest bidder, so you can buy your Tesla and eat all the smoked turkey you want.
A laptop from the office and put it in your Tesla and drove away with it.
I don't recall that. No,
Well-
I do not.
well-
That would have been my. If there was a laptop in that office, it was mine.
Okay, well, we're going to pull it up in just a minute. I'll help
Fantastic.
refresh your memory.
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned earlier that you didn't take, other than the vital records and the attorney-client privileged records, that you didn't take anything else out of the home. That's not entirely true. You also took a safe out of the house?
Yeah, I described that by report, but that house, that safe was returned.
Okay, so you went into the house with your own key, correct?
Yes.
You went into the family, I believe is in the master closet, is that right? Where was it?
Yes.
You picked it up, took it out of the house, and put it in your Tesla.
Yes, I believe I did that at the request of Clint Benson.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then you drove it to a locksmith,
I did.
and you busted into the safe.
I did not bust into the safe.
Well, he did.
He bumped. He used a technique called bumping. It's the movement of the.
He didn't bust, he bumped. It's a technique called the bump bust. And when he bump busts into the safe, we get access to the evidence that shows your client's guilt. It's a bump bust technique.
The door and the frame of the safe that allows it to come open.
Okay, but you didn't have a combination.
I didn't, I don't know if that was a combination. I thought there was a key to that one.
It was forced open with a hammer, right?
I think it was a rubber mallet, and it was dropped onto the ground.
Okay.
I think that's what eventually got it opened, was that it was dropped onto a.
Hey, I do the same thing with my car battery. Rubber mallet, tap, 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 and then drop it on the ground. And I don't know. The theory is that wakes up the cells of a dead battery and activates the what is it? The electrolytes. A diode separated by a cathode or something like that.
Flat surface.
And when you were doing that, there's no law enforcement there, correct?
I don't need law enforcement to babysit me.
Okay. And you open it up, and there's clips from guns in there, right?
I would have to go back to my report to recall exactly what was in there.
But you handled it with your bare hands, no gloves.
I did.
All right. And, I'm sorry. And
Do you guys think he really had titanium rods put into his neck as part of a just medical procedure, or was he thrown down some steps by one of his former clients? Or maybe not the client, but the person that the client was having him investigate. Because you gotta think, if you're I don't know, what do you think the majority of his cases are? Because sometimes someone wants to hire a private investigator because they think their husband is having an affair or something, right? So you got to think, if this guy's lurking outside somebody's mistress's house, he could piss a few people off, basically, is what I'm saying. It's got to be a risky business at times. I don't need the police to babysit me. Well, you might be happy to see them one day. I'm sure that's probably already been an occurrence.
You also found an unusual residue in the safe. Do you recall that? That you touched with your fingers?
I don't recall that.
All right. We'll play that in a second.
Fantastic.
I do think we found the video of the laptop, so can we queue up for the witness only GXO10073?
Yeah, that's my laptop. I am scanning into my laptop the documents that I am going through at the office. That is my laptop.
The black one?
Yes.
Okay. So you're scanning all the documents you're finding in the office and then loading them into your laptop?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And again, Clint Benson was not present when you were doing any of this?
Yes, that is my testimony on direct.
Okay. Now let's go to the one of the safe. Can you pull up the clip 100055? Hold on just a moment. 1055. See if you can find that one. Sorry. I think it might be under the impeachment documents. Nope. Okay. All right, we'll get the safe one up to refresh your memory about that residue. You don't remember touching some residue and filming it and asking the safe breaker if that was...
So, well, I mean, says, did they even prepare for this trial? They thought they had a gotcha. Yeah. My feeling of the community is that everybody hates the defense lawyers and thinks that they did a really bad job. I mean, I thought they came across as pretty competent in a ruthless way, which I understand that upset many people. But I don't think that's a reason that we should be blind to their I mean, they clearly were in it, invested in it. And they made the prosecution look as though they were on shaky ground at some points for me. And after the closing, I was still thinking, maybe. I think, well, I don't know. I found them pretty interesting to watch.
Unusual to find residue in a safe?
I don't recall that. I would have to refer back to the video that I made of that for just this purpose.
Okay, no worries. So my understanding is you were at the house. There were some times before you got access to the house while Ms. Richins was still living there that you would sit outside her house and observe the house while she was in it. Is that fair?
It is not fair. That is false.
You never did that?
I never sat outside her house and watched her. False.
Not on March 9th of 2023?
Correct.
Not on April 12th of 2023?
Correct.
Okay. But you did put trackers on their cars, is that right?
I did.
And that's a secret device that you put on someone's car so you can follow where they're going without their knowledge?
So GPS tracking devices are generally covert, and there's good reason for that. I put GPS devices on Kouri's vehicle and two of Lisa's vehicles, one of which was being used by Kouri's brother, Ronnie.
So her mother's cars and her car.
That is correct.
And how long did you track these individuals?
I think there were different times for different vehicles. I don't recall the exact amount of time, but that'll be in the file that you have.
And did you turn over your reports on every single place they went for months to law enforcement?
Yes.
And you know that law enforcement is required to have a warrant to do that.
Well, they have to get a warrant, and I have to go through a different procedure that's prescribed by Utah law to appropriately place those devices.
Did you track anybody else's car in this case?
I want to say yes. Yes, I did.
Who else's?
There were some vehicles that I suspected that Carmen Lauber may be utilizing. But I discovered that, in fact, the vehicle that was parked at her house overnight on many occasions was being driven by someone else.
So you never gave that report to law enforcement?
I believe I did.
You gave the Carmen Lauber tracking report to law enforcement?
Yes, it wouldn't be named Carmen Lauber, though.
What would it be named?
Oh. I want to say there were a number of people that were associated with her residence.
That's all right. If it's
There was
someone.
Nick Bonsavage. There was, and there was another young man who were frequenting that residence. And I believe that vehicle that I tracked from that residence was seen there overnight on multiple occasions.
Okay.
I really don't remember, because the point of that was to track Carmen Lauber. And when I discovered that it wasn't Carmen driving the car, I removed the device.
Okay. Law enforcement was also providing you.
How many cars in Utah do you think this guy has planted a device on? I'm going to say 100%. In fact, it's more than 100%, because it would include cars that have since been taken off the road. Everyone in Utah, check your car for a listening device, because this guy has seen you coming.
I believe you said that Mr. Bloodworth asked you if you got information from law enforcement, and you said no. Is that right?
No, that is not right.
Okay, please correct me.
Well, I would have discussions with law enforcement. I could garner an understanding. I could read between the lines, if you want.
In fact, you went to meetings with law enforcement about this case, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
How many times did you have meetings with them?
I don't recall. I don't count them.
Okay.
The number is not relevant to me.
Well, you appreciate it might be relevant to me? Can you try to remember?
Half a dozen.
Okay. Can you pull up TG 11 for the witness only? Can you make it bigger? All right, sir, do you recognize that? Oh, can you see it?
I can see it.
Do you recognize it?
I do.
All right, and is that an email that you sent to Detective Woody on July 13th of 2022?
I'm going to have difficulty talking about this exhibit, because if it becomes an exhibit, it contains a confidential client communication. But I did send it to Detective Woody.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would object to Mr. Gabler being required to testify regarding any claim.
With respect, I'm not sure you have standing to make any objections, and he seems fully attuned to the issue. Ms. Nestor, I'm not sure where we're headed, so just take it one question at a time.
I shall. Thank you, Your Honor. Is it fair to say that this is an example of you suggesting to Detective Woody that now would be a really good time for law enforcement to interview Carmen Lauber?
Yes.
And why would that be, sir?
She's on the ropes in drug court is what it says.
Right.
She was on the ropes.
And in fact, what you argued was she would be very likely to be compliant at this point with law enforcement. Is that your words?
Yes.
All right. Also in here, you accuse Kouri of lying about the name of her house cleaner.
Yes.
And the lie that you said Kouri told was that her house cleaner was her cute cleaner, Norma?
Yes.
In fact, didn't you, sir, finally confirm that Norma Garcia was her house cleaner?
I did later confirm that. Yes.
So when you sent this to police and said Kouri was lying, you were wrong.
I was wrong.
Okay.
But prior to Norma,
Your Honor.
Gabler, you need to pause for the next question, sir. Thank you.
very good.
Did law enforcement give you access to I'm going to try to use the right word, to folders where you could access their information on like a...
I'm going to try and use the right word. Folders. Did law enforcement give you access to, what do you call it? Folders?
subfolder where you had a link to their folder?
No.
Did you provide them with links to your folder?
Yes.
And one of the
Did you provide them with, what is the terminology, a link?
links you provided them involved a download of Eric's phone, is that right?
No.
Okay. Did it involve the decoded call logs that you talked about earlier where you figured out everybody's number and name?
I'm confused. You're talking about two separate things. You were just talking about Eric's phone, the cloned phone, the cloned phone. For example, encrypted data would not be present for biometrics, for his Apple Watch if he was wearing a biometric watch, or that is all encrypted. That would not come back to a new cloned phone. But all of the text messaging, the web histories, the call histories, all of that stuff will be present on that clone.
So you had access to all his texts?
I don't believe I did.
Why not? And this is maybe a stupid old lady question, but explain to me why you didn't have access to his texts if you downloaded everything off the cloud.
You said all of his texts.
Okay.
I don't believe I ever got all of his texts.
How far back did they go?
I don't recall the date at this time. I would have to refer to the file material to know the exact date of the first event on the phone.
So how much time did you spend reading through his texts?
Well, I don't recall exactly. I could refer back to some records to come up with an answer for you. It would have been a number of hours.
Hundreds of hours?
No.
Okay.
I mean, in this case,
Right.
936.3 hours.
Is how many hours you billed total for the case?
Yep.
And what were you paid for that?
I don't know.
How much do you charge an hour?
$125 an hour. However, that is not the only billing rate in this case. When I used computer forensic software and my expertise in that regard, the rate would be higher. $200 an hour, I think, was the discounted rate that I gave them.
So I'm really bad at math. Please forgive me if I get this wrong.
Yeah, well, we're both in the same place.
We're talking about over $100,000 you made on this case.
I would say so, yes.
Okay. Now I want to go back to that phone and you reading his text.
Yes.
As you were culling through your hypotheses,
Yeah.
obviously one of the things you want to look at is the state of their marriage. Is that fair?
I mean, it's significant, but it's not dispositive.
I
It doesn't-
agree.
It's important context, but it's not evidence of anything, really. I see a lot of bad marriages out there. In my career, I've handled many hundreds of divorce cases. So, people have problems.
Did you review text messages between Eric and some of his friends?
Yes.
Did you review text messages between Eric and Bryce?
Bryce Knudsen?
Yes.
I don't recall specifically, but if they were there, I probably looked at them.
Okay. Your Honor, can I have just a moment?
This was sitting here. I don't recall that. I did investigate allegations of an affair with Eric.
Okay, but that's not my question. My question is, do you recall seeing sexting, as the kids say, on Eric's phone with people other than Kouri?
I don't really know what you mean by sexting. I don't know what the parameters of that are. And so my answer is...
Was there a dick pic? I don't know what the parameters of that are. Well, you're a human being, so you should be able to work it out. Was there a dick pic?
There's no.
Okay. Did you find any texts where Eric talked about having an open marriage with Kouri?
I don't recall that.
At some point, were you investigating cases that were being prosecuted in the Summit County area around the time that Eric died, where people were caught distributing fentanyl?
Yes.
Did you gather affidavits from cases where fentanyl was being sold in the Summit County area?
Yes.
And did you ever follow up on any of those investigations, or did you just stop by gathering the affidavits?
Well, they were plugged into the hypothesis testing matrix. I considered them for their proximity being in Summit County and for them involving fentanyl. In each of those cases,
What does everyone think about this pharmaceutical standard for fentanyl production? Because apparently the key test, and it's alluded to, but I also looked it up, and it correlates well with what the medical examiner said to Kouri Richins' phone call when she called up to inquire about the cause of death. And that, so the test is, they'll do a test, and through the test, they'll be able to see the type of fentanyl that is manufactured by a pharmaceutical company for medical purposes, high pain relief, Trevor Summers, when he went in after attempting to slash his own throat. There's nothing more desperate than the image of a man sitting in a multi-person vehicle on the bench seat in the middle, slashing his own throat, exclaiming, what did he say to his wife? "You don't know what love is. This is love." And he's slashing his own throat. Okay, I want a divorce. I want a divorce now. Protection order, get me away from this man immediately. And they did, right? But when they took him in to be treated at the hospital before interview, he was treated with fentanyl. But yeah, there's a difference in the fentanyl that's manufactured by a pharmaceutical or the fentanyl that is manufactured by a street operation. Cartel this, cartel that. And if I was the cartel, I'd be thinking, well, we just need to change the manufacturing to be in line with the tests that support this is made by a pharmaceutical company. I was like, how long, if it's just a chemical test, it can be fooled. There need to be other surrounding things to look at.
I found no relationship to this case.
Okay. I want to pull up TG2, Katie, just for this witness only. Sorry, I lied about the time. I'm going a little bit longer, Your Honor. I'm close to done.
No problem.
Sir, do you recognize that?
I do.
Is that what you were talking about with Mr. Bloodworth, which is the decoding where you looked at his call records and tried to figure out who he was calling?
It is the record that I referred to when I was talking about it on direct. I agree with that.
And Katie, could we go to the page for the date 2/14/2022 at 12:23 p.m.? It's a ways down. Just a moment, Your Honor.
Of course.
All right, sir, we've blown up a section. Does that refresh your memory about what you determined a call that was made on December 14th at...
Give me the date one more time.
I'm sorry, February 14th. Thank you, Your Honor. At 12:25 p.m.
Well, this is not a record that I created, but I recognize the format, and it appears to be that Eric Richins' phone had an incoming call at 12:25.
Can you look at the call right above that one?
This is an outgoing call from talked about, and that is to a different number, 801-473-5058.
So as part of your investigation that you were doing on the mirror phone, you could at least identify a call that was made by Eric at 12:23 p.m. on February 14th, right?
I'm confused. We're looking at an invoice record from a carrier, and
Right.
you're asking me about his phone. Those are two different things.
Did this invoice come from his phone
No,
billing records?
from his carrier, from Verizon.
Right.
That's not a record from his phone. That's a record from his carrier.
I understand.
Two different things.
So according to the bill from his carrier,
Yeah.
he made a call at 12:23 p.m. on February 14th.
Correct.
Okay.
Objection, there's a 901 problem here.
I'm done with it, Your Honor.
Hold on. You got to approach for a moment, if you would.
You mentioned you interviewed 45 to 50 people.
You see, he said that he'd laid off the pain medication for today so that he could testify with a clear mind, and I believe him. And certainly he seems to have a crystal clear mind, right? 3D chess player, chess grand master champion. What if he had pain pills yesterday? I mean, he could have had 3 or 4 drinks yesterday and felt rough. But what about those pills?
Somewhere around there, 40 to 50.
I wonder if he's been given fentanyl as part of his treatment for his titanium rod insertions.
Yeah, it's an approximate number. I have no method of calculating that number. It's approximate, based upon my memory.
Did you ever interview Kouri?
I'm surprised defense counsel didn't just say, so it's a guess. What does Daniel Rashbaum say? What does he say? Occam's razor is a guess. We don't guess in this country. That's what the Constitution is for. I love his outrage. You see, that's what I love about Daniel Rashbaum, the fact that we can so clearly see, oh look, he's decided to act this part with a little bit of like outrage at the state being unjust. Once you see the pattern, it doesn't bother you at all, right? Occam's razor is a guess. It's not a guess. It's not a guess at all.
I did. I spoke to Kouri. She called me.
He's banking on any member of a Tallahassee jury never having heard of the Occam's razor concept or theory.
On January the 19th.
Tallahassee jury probably couldn't even spell theory. They spell it with a V.
2023.
All right. And she voluntarily spoke to you?
She called me.
And talked to you voluntarily?
She did. And I stopped her. I told her it would be inappropriate and unethical for me to continue the conversation outside the presence of her lawyer. I then texted her lawyer and had a phone call with her lawyer about the propriety of her client speaking without her presence.
Okay.
I then requested that Kouri submit to an interview multiple times.
All right, stop.
Okay.
Don't reveal what anyone else said to you.
Okay.
The point is, Kouri called you to talk to you and tell you her side, right?
I don't know what her intentions were. She seemed very angry that I had contacted one of her business associates. I believe that was the reason she called me on that date.
Okay. And so you never to this day have sat down with Kouri and heard her version of what happened?
No, despite my repeated requests.
Okay. But she called you.
And I was bound by the ethics not to talk to her outside the presence of her lawyer. She was a litigant. She sued my client.
Okay. And ultimately, as you were working with the trust, did you become aware that the trust filed a wrongful death suit against Kouri?
I am.
And are you aware they're seeking over $10 million in damages against Kouri Richins?
I didn't know that. It's irrelevant to me.
Okay. Okay, court's indulgence for just a moment, Your Honor.
Of course.
Bloodworth's about to come back for the final moments of redirect, and then we're going to have a look at Miss Khan from the Donna Adelson trial.
Seeing any texts with Eric about him and Kouri having an open relationship, and you said you could not recall. Is that right?
Correct.
Can you put that up on the screen, Katie? Do you recall looking at that text?
I do.
You've seen this one?
I believe I have. It's a joke.
It's a joke?
It is. It appears to me to be a joke.
Did you see the text around this text?
I did.
So you have reviewed the text between Eric and Bryce?
I don't know. I don't know that this is a text from Bryce. I have no idea. This does not identify Bryce.
So
doesn't
now that
identify anybody.
now that you have your memory refreshed, do you remember seeing this text between Eric and another individual saying that Kouri and I are starting an open relationship tonight? Right?
It says, Kouri and I are starting an open relationship tonight, so I told her I'm taking you home.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And you left that out of your report.
No. This would be part of my report.
Did you see sexting between Bryce and Eric when you looked at their texts?
I don't recall that, no.
Katie?
And is this sexting? I don't know what you mean.
No, I'm not talking about this one. I'm
Okay.
talking about other ones.
All right. I don't recall. I'm talking about many hundreds of thousands of messages in this case. I
Okay.
can't recall them all.
Let's see. Just a moment. Court's indulgence for just a moment.
Hey Jim, how you doing? Morning TCM and everyone. Sorry for the radio silence. Been sick as a dog in the street.
Can I show you this other text right here and see if this refreshes your memory? Do you remember seeing a whole bunch of emails like this or texts like this between Eric and Bryce?
Honestly, no, I don't remember. Like I say, there were hundreds of thousands of messages in this case. I don't remember even 1% of them. As I look at this, I mean, it just makes me laugh. It doesn't appear to be serious.
So how many of these joke sextings did you review that Eric did?
I don't understand this to be sexting. I think you're wrong about that. I resist your characterization. These are two friends joking with each other. That's what I'm reading here.
And they did that all the time?
I don't know.
Hundreds of times?
If I had the records, and then I could answer your question, but I don't remember all of these messages. And yeah, this is a joke.
Did you review all of the texts between Bryce and Eric?
I think at one time I would have gone through every single text message that was available to me on Eric's cloned phone. So, do I recall it? Well, I recall that it was a bit mind-numbing. There was a lot there. Nothing particularly stuck out in my mind or memory about those messages.
Did they repeatedly talk about having sex acts together?
I don't recall.
Did they repeatedly talk about oral sex together?
I don't recall.
Did they talk about anal sex together?
Also don't recall.
But you read them all.
I'm sure that I did.
And it's all joking.
Knowing what I know about Bryce and Eric, yeah, that's how I interpret it.
So you do remember reading things of this nature and you interpreted it all as joking?
No, as I sit here today, I interpret it that way. I would have interpreted it that way back at my original reading of it. That doesn't mean I recall it. It means I have an opinion about what I thought then. That's different.
And what did you think then? They were joking?
No. What I think now is that this was a joke. I do not have a recollection of this at the time that I first read it, but if I had a recollection of that time, I'm sure it would be the same as it is today.
And if there were these tens of 20s of 50s of these types of emails, all of them would be jokes?
Foundation.
Sustained.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Bloodworth, anything further for Mr. Gabler?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. The text, they're a bunch of to-dos locker room talk from August of 2018.
That was my read of it, yes.
There wasn't any serious read that Eric Richins and Bryce Knudsen were engaged in some homosexual affair?
Zero.
In all of the text messages you reviewed, did you see any evidence of Eric using illicit street drugs?
No. I looked and I could not find.
You mentioned legal requirements for a licensed private investigator to place a GPS tracker on a car. What are those legal requirements?
So the statute governing that was adopted a few years ago. It requires that before placing the device, a licensed private investigator must identify the person or persons that are driving that vehicle and potentially the owner of that vehicle, and that they submit a request to query the protected persons database in the state of Utah for any record of those persons that are subject to the GPS tracking. That is designed to keep us from tracking people who have protective orders or temporary restraining orders or other lawful processes that define them as a protected person. We cannot track you in that circumstance. We do not have independent access to that database. So we must ask an agency of the state for a yay or nay. Is this person in the protected persons database? We have to do that before we place a device. We have to be certain that we are not tracking a protected person. So I submitted those requests to the appropriate counties of the jurisdictions where I placed these devices. The Summit County Sheriff's Office initially declined my request under the statute. I insisted. I finally got them to comply. I did the same with the Wasatch County Sheriff's Office, and they complied with my request.
Did you conduct your investigation entirely within the bounds of the law?
I believe I did.
Did you conduct your investigation entirely within the ethical bounds of private investigators and the attorneys you were working for in this case?
I believe that I did.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Nestor, anything further for Mr. Gabler?
No, Your Honor.
May we release this witness?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your
Judge.
time.
Yes.
Please step safely. You are
Yes.
free to go, sir.
Thank you.
He's going to have some pain pills now, huh? For his drive home.
Mr. Bloodworth, is this an appropriate time to recess for the day?
It is, Your Honor.
Ms. Nestor?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, we're going to recess for the day. Have we got one more? One more. This lady. Miss Khan. It's only short, but this is another private investigator from
Thank you, Your Honor.
the Donna
Good
Adelson
afternoon. Can you
trial.
please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name?
Yes, my name is Tehronna Khan. Last name is Khan.
And Ms. Khan, how are you employed currently?
If you don't remember, she is a mitigation specialist / paralegal for the Federal Defenders of the Middle District of Georgia. You know the road side sobriety test? I think that it should just be, instead of point your nose and follow this flashlight on the tip of my finger or whatever, they should just say, repeat this phrase, and hand you this little card, and you have to read, I am a mitigation specialist / paralegal for the Federal Defenders of the Middle District of Georgia.
I'm a mitigation specialist / paralegal for the Federal Defenders of the Middle District of Georgia.
And what is
You're a what?
And Ms. Khan, how are you employed currently?
I'm a mitigation specialist / paralegal for the Federal Defenders of the Middle District of Georgia.
And what is that what do those job responsibilities entail?
What I do is I go down three different, the male side and the maternal and paternal side of the families, and I investigate all of the issues. I don't do fact investigation, and I also do the mental evaluations not the evaluations, but I go back, doing all the records and get all the things together, present it to the courts, so we can try to get a lesser sentence for our clients.
Okay. And that's with a habeas unit?
Not right now. I'm just with the Middle District of Georgia. But I was doing that with the habeas here in Tallahassee.
Okay. And how long have you been in your current role in the Middle District of Georgia?
1 year in Georgia.
Okay. Prior to that, did you work for the Federal Defender's Office here in the Northern District of Florida?
I did the Capital Habeas Unit.
And can you tell us what you did there, please?
Yes, I did investigation, went to talk to clients, all their families. It was more of a fact investigation at that point.
Okay. And so that entailed you going out at the direction of the attorneys that you worked with, interviewing individuals,
Correct.
gathering records,
Yes,
and that included individuals that were in custody, correct?
correct,
And preparing reports
correct.
and presenting that to whom?
The attorneys.
Okay. Did it also bring you to have occasion to testify in court ever?
No.
No. Now, how long were you employed with the Northern District of Florida Federal Defender's Office?
From 2016 until July 2022.
And can you tell us a little bit about your educational background?
Yes, I have an associate's in paralegal, a bachelor's in legal studies, and I've studied sociology, and I've earned a certificate in that.
Okay. And when did you complete your bachelor's?
In around 2014, maybe?
Okay. Now, in between working for the Federal Defender's Office in the Northern District of Florida and the Federal Defender's Office in the Middle District of Georgia, did you work as a licensed private investigator in Florida?
After I left the Federal Defender's Office in Tallahassee, yes.
Okay. And how long did you do that for?
Since 2022, and I never stopped. I just took the job for the Federal Middle District of Georgia and left.
Okay. And as a licensed private investigator, were you retained by my office to interview an individual by the name of Patricia Byrd.
Yes,
And where was she located?
in the Leon County Jail,
Okay. How many times did you meet with Ms. Byrd?
once,
And that was at the Leon County Jail?
yes.
And do you remember when that was?
I want to say January, can I look?
If it'll help refresh your memory,
Okay.
sure.
Oh. Ms. Byrd was on January 24th.
2025?
Correct, sorry.
And when you interviewed Ms. Byrd, did you tell Ms. Byrd that Mrs. Adelson was going to pay her for her testimony?
No,
Specifically, did you tell Ms. Byrd that Donna Adelson was going to buy her a piece of land?
no,
What about a trailer?
no,
What about veneers for her teeth?
no,
And what about a small vehicle for her and her children?
no,
Okay. Did Ms. Byrd tell you that Mrs. Adelson had offered those items to her?
no,
Did Ms. Byrd tell you that Mrs. Adelson confessed to any portion of the crimes with which Mrs. Adelson is charged in this case?
Did she tell you that, I'm sorry, can you read that?
Did
for me?
Ms. Byrd tell you that Mrs. Adelson confessed to her?
No,
Just a moment, Your Honor. Ms. Collins, prior to interviewing Ms. Byrd on January 24th, 2025, did you meet with or speak with Donna Adelson?
no,
Have you ever met with or spoken with Donna Adelson?
no,
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Why did you interview Miss Byrd?
I was given a list of names to interview.
It's difficult to think, isn't it, of the two? Who would you less like to stand up to in cross-examination, Georgia Kappelman or Sarah Dugan? Because they're both, I mean, it's easy to think that Georgia would be the more formidable foe, but God, you know, Sarah Dugan's no chipmunk either, is she? She's a pit bull. If Georgia's a bear, Sarah's a pit bull.
By defense counsel?
Correct.
Okay. And she was not a state witness at that time, right?
I would know.
But no, would it refresh your memory to see a copy of the state's amended discovery when we did list her as a witness?
I didn't see that. I would never seen that.
Okay, so that wouldn't help you to know when she was amended as a witness in the case?
I wouldn't have known it. No.
Okay, so you were not asked to go there because she was a state's witness, I'll just put it
No,
that way?
no.
All right. And did you record your interview with Ms. Byrd?
No.
The SAO investigators were able to record their interview with her. Why didn't you when you interviewed her?
I wasn't asked to do that.
Asked by who?
The attorneys.
So they didn't ask you to do it?
They didn't ask me to record it, no.
Okay. Could you have taken a recorder and recorded it, though?
Had I requested for the jail to permit me to take a recorder in there?
The jail does allow that.
I
If
don't
you-
know, I didn't
if you
ask.
get- Okay. If you get permission in your experience, is it typical
Correct,
for
yes.
jails to allow you to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Just a second.
Christina, I've just seen your comment there. Faux incredulity. I love that. Faux incredulity. The faux incredulity of Kouri Richins. Facial expressions.
Redirect examination.
Since you didn't ask for permission to take a recording device into the jail where you met with Ms. Byrd, how did you take accurate notes?
As I was speaking with them, I wrote everything down that they said that they were saying. So I did pen and paper.
You see, another investigator without a recording device. You gotta have a neck brace with a microphone inside.
Pen and paper. And had the state requested those through the discovery process, you would have been able to produce those.
Correct.
Nothing further.
Will this witness need to be recalled or retained for any reason?
we retain her, but she's free to go about her business.
You may step down, Ms. Khan. If you are recalled by the attorneys, they will let you know. Do not discuss your testimony with any other person. Please call your name.
Okay, I think that proves our point that Todd Gabler is the mythical white tiger of private investigators. He's one of a kind. He's far from the flock, and he's better than the cops. No doubt about it. Look at him there. Even the way he drinks out of that cup. We hope his neck is on the mend. Aspen, Vista, nice product placement. Fantastic. Good. We love Todd Gabler, and we know you all do too. We'll be back tomorrow with something even better than this, and we'll even be on time. I'm going to play the intro once more because I love it just that much, and that'll play us out. So we'll say thank you for coming, chatting. Sorry we were so late, and we'll be back tomorrow on time. Good night.
We're on the record in 231-500-139. Counsel over the state and defense are present. Defendant is present. Some things to discuss. A couple of motions filed last night. We also need to discuss Mr. Bloodworth.
Your Honor, State can respond right now.
I'm gonna need some details that I'm not sure you can provide.
Your Honor, we can do that. I don't think that the state disagrees on the facts
Okay,
laid out in.
that's fine. Okay, Brittany, can you make a note of that in the minutes? All right. Okay, that's what I had on my initial to-do list. Mr. Bloodworth, anything else from the state?